Yo, listen up, it's time for a tale about a podcast that'll leave you frail. Hard way wrestling coming at you raw, bringing the heat, breaking every law. They drop the truth, no holds barred, talking smack, getting you hyped up hard, calling out the fakes, exposing the lies. Hard way wrestling taken by surprise. Hard way wrestling coming to your city. Nothing but realness, nothing but grit. Going down a gauntlet, making them hard. Hard way wrestling, straight from the heart.
Welcome to Hard Way Wrestling. It is the Crackdown, boys. Damn, it has been forever.
I know.
We didn't have a
Feels
show.
like
A long week.
It has, man. It really has. Honestly, it has been a long week. I was so crazy this week, so there was no way I was gonna get another show in at the end of the month. So, but we did it. We're here for the Crackdown. No Rob. No,
Nope.
Rob. Rob is. We saw a video earlier. Rob is cleaning out his grandmother's house, and he has got a.
He's got an infestation problem. Cats is living in the walls.
He's got something going on, man.
And Mr. Puffers does not need a friend.
Yeah, yeah. He was trying to get rid of those cats. That's for sure. So
You just put them in all in a big cage and just put them on Damien's doorstep. It'll be your payback for all the sex toys he tries to send you.
that's not a bad idea. Just drop them off. Of course, Damien loves cats, so
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that would be perfect.
He's
Every
a crazy
time-
cat lady.
Yeah, every time we pick him up for a wrestling event, he'll just smell like cat pee.
Doesn't he do that already?
That's normal, I think.
Yeah.
In the video,
Just
Rob
covers it up with the smell of a vape.
vape and patchouli. He had in the video. Rob said was I guess it was his sister that was there helping, and he said, "Oh yeah." His sister said, "Well, do they want to volunteer?" And he said, Rob said, "Well, Jason would, and Ricky would."
Yeah, I love how he didn't include me in that one.
Well, guess what, Rob? Don't include me either. I'm not fucking helping either.
Helping what?
Yeah, geez, I guess clean. I mean, the house was a mess. So
I mean, well, here's the thing: does he have a hazmat suit big enough to fit him?
no, not a chance. Maybe a big yellow tent he could throw over top of himself. He's got his work cut out for him. He's had a rough couple weeks here, but Rob will be back soon enough. But today we are going to do the Crackdown. We're going to talk about Smackdown for Friday and all the good stuff that came out of that. You guys got a chance to catch Smackdown, some of it, all of it,
Yep.
none of it.
Caught most
Bits and
of it.
pieces.
I caught most of it.
I mean, we're what, 2 weeks away from WrestleMania? The week of before WrestleMania, we have one show, and it'll be the big ass WrestleMania show.
Big ass
WrestleMania
love it.
show. And because Ricky and I fly out on Friday, right? We fly out on Friday,
Yep.
so we will not be around for that show. So we'll do one big ass show. I don't know if it'll probably be a Wednesday, maybe middle of the week, right? Maybe we'll do right in the middle of the week.
There we go.
So we'll do that. We'll talk about WrestleMania and everything going into that. Starting to come around, boys. You know, like 2 months ago, we were like, I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. This is like this might be the most boring WrestleMania of all time, especially because we went to the one last year, and besides freezing our yin yangs off,
Yeah.
it was a good show. But it's starting around. I don't know that it's good. They're gonna have to prove to me some way, somehow, that it's gonna top last year's. I don't know that they can. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
You're
tough.
not beating Cody finishing his story.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Can you guys? Do you remember any moments from WrestleMania? And I've been begging you for this stuff for a while now, but do you remember any moments from WrestleMania that were just stand out, that were just like amazing, that you'll always remember that WrestleMania for that moment?
For the wrong reason, what was it, 20? I mean, not for the wrong reason, right reason. Was it WrestleMania 20 with Benoit and Guerrero in the ring after they
Yeah.
both won the world? Well, Guerrero already had the WWE title, but
Right.
Benoit winning the world title. And then another one of my all-time favorite Mania moments that I'll never forget was actually their back-to-back Mania moments. 12 with HBK and Brett in the Iron Man match, and 13 with Brett and Stone Cold in the
I
what was
quit.
that? The I
Yeah,
Quit match or the
the Crimson
submission
Mask.
match.
Yeah, the Crimson Mask match. Yeah, that one's a big one.
Funny enough, the one that they're inducting this year into the Hall of Fame
Yeah.
in the new matches Hall of Fame wing, which is hysterical.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to talk about that eventually here, but
I like it, but yeah, they're running out of ideas.
yeah,
People to put in.
there's only so many big names you can put in these halls, right? I mean, I'm sure there's still some guys out there that should be in that aren't in. We've talked about that a million times, for whatever reason, and they're trying to make right by some of these guys. But it's okay to add this kind of stuff. Are we gonna get this for like the Hall of Fame for the NFL? We're gonna get Super Bowl of the year, or the best kick ever, or we're gonna get that kind of stuff. They're gonna start putting.
For football, doubtful.
I mean that's
Well, I don't know. Who knows what they're going to come up with? Somebody takes an idea and they run with it.
right. So I mean,
But my favorite all-time WrestleMania moment is going to be Cody finishing his story. And do you know why? Because
Why?
we were there.
we were there, baby. We helped Cody finish his story.
Yeah.
I will always remember when I started getting back into watching wrestling again, because I had a huge after I stopped training and got out of wrestling. I basically stopped watching wrestling. I stopped watching wrestling during training because it scared the shit out of me. But there was a gap there. I missed a lot of the Attitude Era. But when I got back in, it was the Mania where the Taker streak was broken. And I did not realize the impact at the time, because I remember being in a room with like, I don't know, there must have been 25 people in this room, and it was quiet as a church mouse, except for me. It was like, who the fuck cares? I mean, it's just the Undertaker. It's like, oh my God, you don't know. He was like, what was he, 22-0 or something like that?
21.
21.
Yeah, 21-1.
And just going back over and being involved back with wrestling now, and just going back over watching stuff over the years, how impactful that moment was, and nobody expected it. And that's honestly what I enjoy about wrestling now with WWE, is that it's the unexpected could happen. It's not always chalk at times, right? It's maybe Cody's gonna lose this week. You just don't know, right? Maybe Ludwig gets a win over somebody. Like, you just don't, like, these are moments
It's
that
not as predictable.
yeah, it's absolutely, and Triple H has absolutely done an amazing job of keeping us all on our toes. I know where a lot of information came from Fightful Select at times for us, or for me, and it was gospel. Now it's not.
Yeah.
Right now it's not. Now there had 2 or 3 different run sheets at these shows, and you might get a run sheet that says that, Cody's losing his title. And then next thing you know, they're reporting it. Hey, Cody, good source saying that Cody is losing this title at Mania. And next thing you know, he doesn't. So who knows?
Well, not only are they putting out misinformation, but they're also closing ranks. That's the other thing that has made wrestling a lot more interesting over this last year and last couple years, is that, yes, they're kind of throwing out some information that's not necessarily true, but yet there's not as many sources talking anymore. So now you don't have that verified scoop that, this person's going to win or that person's going to lose. They've closed a lot of ranks. They've closed a lot of leaks in the company, and for good, in good reason. Again, I get, journalism needs to be journalism, and people need to have their sources and stuff like that. But, I love now not being able to know a week before or 2 weeks before what's going to happen because the information isn't leaking out the way it used to. And now it's like, it gives us guys like us the chance to speculate and really be like, well, they could do this, but they might not do this, but we still have no idea because nobody's saying anything inside the company, and we don't have any verified sources that are saying anything. So I love it.
Yeah. Did you have a moment, Scotty, before we move on to get into SmackDown here?
I mean, couple of big moments for me, like the beginning of the Austin era and the end of the Austin era. Austin winning against HBK at WrestleMania, and then Austin turning to the dark side and going with McMahon at Mania. Like, it really kind of it was like bookends to an entire chapter of wrestling, that attitude era of wrestling that kind of, one door opened and then the same door shut, closed. And it was, a very interesting time in that attitude era to go back and watch and see all the, the things that happened, and not just with Austin, but all the people that came along on that ride. But there was a third one just because it was my very first, like, I got to see everything as a wrestling fan. I got to see everything after it happened because I'd never had pay-per-view, so I basically bought the tape after it happened. But the very first WrestleMania I got to see live, my very favorite WrestleMania moment was WrestleMania 23, the whole show, but specifically Trump McMahon hair versus hair. So, because that was the very first WrestleMania I got to see actually live. A friend of
Great
mine.
Fez press by Trump. Great Fez press.
That's right. Yeah.
Stone Cold can say he stunned the president.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
might be the only one's ever stunned the president.
Yeah.
All right. Well, SmackDown was in Chicago, home of CM Punk, and like clockwork, CM Punk shows up here. He cuts to a promo, talking about how the audience overseas are supposed to be the best audiences overseas, but he doesn't believe so because Chicago is where it's all started.
Yep.
16,000 strong in CM Punk's hometown. So he's talking about his WrestleMania and being the main event. Listen, y'all, I finally did it. I'm going to be the main event. And then Paul Heyman comes out, cuts him off. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman." Why do we keep getting introduction? Like, we don't know who Paul is. We need a new catch. We need a new catchphrase for Paul.
I still love it because the crowd goes nuts every time they hear it. Like, as soon as they, "Ladies and gentlemen," like, the crowd, like, you heard the pop in that arena. Like,
bro, I heard it yesterday when you hear, "I'm absolutely
garbage."
Stunning. Okay, whatever. Well, you know what all right, so Paul Heyman says, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. I just got into Chicago and I apologize for being late. It was no disrespect to the second city. And I assure you, I absolutely positively assure you it was no disrespect to my friend and my best friend in the world, the second city saint, CM Punk." CM Punk said, "I was just going to thank you and come on and come in. Good Lord, you can't escape ECW." And the crowd was going GCW.
Yeah.
ECW. Of course, it always brings a tear to Paul's eye because I believe he still realizes he owes a lot of people money.
Hopefully he owes Justin Credible money that way.
I fucking hope so.
Which, by the way, I did watch that earlier in the week, and Maven did an excellent job of exposing that fucking fraud.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing about that, at the end of that, he was like, "Yeah, it looks like the Justin's still doing what he's doing out there," and we all know that. We all know that he's doing it out there.
There was another one. There was another. I think Stevie Richards podcast, and I started watching that, but I haven't got a chance to finish it yet.
He did. He didn't have as much echo as I had. So
yeah,
I fixed.
I went back and actually watched Maven's podcast, so I could not hear the echo.
Yeah, good. You didn't get to hear my anger then.
No, I heard your anger.
Yeah.
But then I went back and I also listened to Maven so I could actually hear him and PJ, the retard, talk about all the shit that made him red in the face during that interview.
Well, I tell you, when you and it would be a while for you guys because you guys weren't ever involved in it. But when you realize or learn how to spot scamming and spot liars and that kind of stuff, which I had done for years, when I start saying stuff, you start to look for it, and you're like, "Fuck." The eye contact, the body movement, that kind of stuff, the nervousness, and the
Red in the face.
totally, totally, moving from one subject to another. But when there is something that is the truth, we dwell on that because we have to prove that there is some truth in what I say. So anyway, he's a piece of shit. But either way, it's a great job, great job, Maven. So of course they're chanting for ECW for CM Punk. Heyman says, "I thank you, but tonight ask not Chicago what to do for the wise man. Ask instead what that wise man can do for you." So he wants to know what the favor is. CM Punk says, "You have a favor, another favor, stockpiling favors." That was that part. Yeah, Heyman said, "I got a favor for you. What is the favor? Can you tell me what the favor is? Please tell me what the favor is, because Roman is not here, and you know how pissed he is, how the Samoans get pissed. Have you ever met his father Sika, which was very funny. So CM Punk said, "Did you say he's not here?" Heyman says, not yet. He's in training camp for WrestleMania." Punk says, "As well, he should be. And as soon as he gets here, you let me know, and we'll take care of the favor." So, good lead into SmackDown here. SmackDown wasn't bad. SmackDown was it was still some talking segments. One that did not go very well.
Yeah.
I think on both fronts. Did you get a chance to? Yeah, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, our first
But
match was Nathan. Go ahead.
very, very quickly, just
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah,
I love this whole deal with Punk and Heyman. They play off of each other very well. They are like Heyman is a masterful person when it comes to speaking. Even if he doesn't say all that much, what he says is impactful and vibrant and just like some of the best stuff I've heard. So
Yeah, no,
like
Heyman
this was
Heyman. You almost got to put Heyman in the top one or two in managers. I mean, there's been a lot of great managers over the year, and I'm a huge Bobby the Brain Heenan fan. I mean, huge, loved Jimmy Hart, loved Cornette. Cornette would always probably be number one. But those guys were sharp tongued. Those guys could split you in half in seconds. And I love that aspect of someone. I try to do it as much as I can when I can. I'm definitely not anywhere fucking no caliber to those guys. But I do love the sharp tongue. But Heyman is so quick to be able to continue what they're talking about and elaborating, and just the way his delivery and his emotions when he delivers something, whether it's on the highest of highs or on the lowest of lows, he goes from one emotion to another. Now he could cut you to pieces too if you wanted to, but I don't think that his big thing is the way he works with the talent, the way he builds them up and makes them feel like they are the king, or they are the tribal chief, or they are the best in the world, or whatever. There's a different element with Paul, and I just it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable.
Funny enough, because in my view, the thing with, and again, I'm a big Cornetite, and I do agree with you. He's definitely in the top echelon, but in my view, Paul almost has to take number one because Cornette has left the business. Paul's still doing this. Like that's the thing. Like that's where, again, as much as I love Cornette, Paul's still doing this. Paul has done this from the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s to the 10s till the 20s. He's still doing this and is at the top, like the top of his game even now at his age, and still doing and loving doing it. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I almost have to say Paul takes top spot because of his longevity.
I always feel like Cornette was really good at building his guys, right?
Mhm.
You know, his guys, the Midnight Express. You know, everybody he's ever managed over the years, he's always made them. I believe he ran with Kimchi for a while. I don't know how that worked. Did he run with Kimchi? Was it Kimchi?
Yes, it was
Kamala?
Kimchi. Kamala's guy. Yeah.
But he like he always Jim always does a great job of building who he's with. Paul does a great job of building the story around the people he's with. So I mean,
Yep.
so hats off
Yep.
to Paul Heyman, always great. So anyway, we got the debut of Ray Phoenix.
Yes, sir.
Not the greatest debut.
Yeah.
I mean, they did put him in there with Nathan Frazier. Nathan Frazier, I didn't even know this. Trained by Seth Rollins. They mentioned that in this match. It was a good high pace match. You can, it's like when Penta came. You can still see the AEW in Phoenix with a little bit of botchy stuff and a little bit of miscommunication and trying to I don't know. It's just you could always tell an AEW character compared to a WWE character.
Does Nathan know even how to speak Spanish? Like, I mean, I think they just couldn't communicate.
Well, you know, communication in wrestling is not through words all the time. Most of the time, it's through gestures or it's not. Can you imagine if everything was words? How does guys from here go over to New Japan? Is that headlock? I don't know. No, there's ways of communicating in wrestling. I'm not gonna go too far behind the curtain, but there's ways of communicating in wrestling that that the boys know or the girls know that if you constantly heard me saying, okay, drop down, toe hold, you go to the corner, stay. I mean, you constantly heard that, it would fucking take it out of there, right? Right. So there's ways of communicating. So anyway, let's get back to let's get to the end of this. After the match, of course, Ray Phoenix wins his debut here in a pretty good match here. Phoenix blocks the avalanche splash. Frazier with the superplex. I'm not sure. There was a lot of spots that weren't needed in this, I don't think. Anyway, how it ended was Ray Phoenix dropped fucking Nathan Frazier on his head.
Yeah.
That's what reminded me of AEW. So after the match, we got a Byron Saxton, Ray Phoenix interview, and Ray was very happy to be out of his other contract. That's how I took it. He said, I could finally say that I am finally WWE, which I heard was I'm finally away from that shit contract, and in 2 years we'll be released by WWE.
Did they chant Tony fumbled?
Not this time. Not this time. So
I love what NXT's doing, by the way, to stick it to Tony.
on every avenue.
Yeah.
They're trying to make Tony know that he's a mess. So we got a Santos Escobar interview with Los Gazas in the back. Escobar says Ray Phoenix. I'm really impressed with Ray Phoenix. I like the way he works, of course. Humberto was not too impressed. He says he's better than him. I think Humberto got new teeth. I feel like he got new teeth or something because he's hiding them and they're pushing his lip out. He seemed like he was trying to hide them. But anyway, next week we're getting an Humberto and Ray Phoenix match, I'm sure, where Humberto will narrowly get out of there without his dying. So
without his new teeth getting knocked out.
Let's hope not. He'll probably wear a mouth guard like Cesaro. We got a backstage interview with Braun Strowman on the Jacob Fatu Last Man Standing match. Solo and Tama Tonga showed up and was basically telling Braun that he is in trouble tonight. There's no way that he's beating the Samoan Werewolf. Of course, LA Knight shows up and says and proceeds to mock Tama. Yeah. I think he called him bacon lips. He said Solo had bacon lips. I don't have the exact word for word. I was gonna read it here. He's ready to stop this dummy out and show the world whose game is it. Damn it. I wanted that whole conversation. It's not. Oh, here it is. LA says that Braun shouldn't waste his energy on this pumpkin headed on this pumpkin head Solo Sokoa. LA tells Solo to keep his boy tells Solo to keep his boys in order and to Braun to keep his eyes on the prize. Tama Tonga says to LA, you should be worried about him. LA is worried. Then he proceeds to mock Tom. Yeah. It was very, very funny. LA Knight was on something. He was definitely
he was on fire, is what he was. That was honestly one of his best little
pretty funny.
backstage little vignettes I've seen in a while with him.
Yeah.
So,
Tama blocks the towards the end of this match. Tama blocks the BFT, knocks Knight decks Tonga with the back elbow smash. Knight avoids a Samoan spike, blast Solo off the apron. Tonga rolls up Knight over for rolls Tonga for a 2 count. Knight connects with the BFT and picks up the victory. LA Knight over in this one. So the winner of the last man standing will face LA Knight. Is it going to be LA Knight before? It's not at Mania though, right? Will it be at Mania?
I think it is at Mania.
Yeah, it's supposed to be at Mania. Yeah. They're trying to shoehorn as many. I mean, they got 2 nights now, so they're trying to put as many matches as they can on there.
We had a backstage interview with Paul Heyman, further indicating about the favor, and he owes CM Punk. He basically tells CM Punk, he says, whatever it is, you got it, right? It's you. I'm done. I'll do whatever you need. And then here comes an SUV. It's pulling up. We're like, okay, Tribal Chief's here. We're about to get into this. It's not the Tribal Chief. It's the other member of the Shield, Seth Rollins. So Seth Gonzalez says, man, Paul, man, you look bad. You look worse than I've ever seen you. He said, man, this favor thing must be really weighing on you. He said, but don't worry about it. Listen, let me know when the big man shows up. I want to be there for it. I want to be at the ring for it. So, of course, Heyman is not happy with the whole thing. So, and then we get on to the worst part of the night. Oof. Mm-hmm. Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton segment, in-ring promo. Wade Barrett, now due to the heated nature of the recent interactions between you two, I have volunteered to moderate or hold you guys back. First, please help me welcome the Women's World Champion, Tiffany Stratton. Of course, everyone likes Tiffany. And then the WrestleMania opponent, 2025 winner of the Royal Rumble, Charlotte Flair. Holy shit.
The Toxic Avenger.
Toxic Avenger. Boy, who's got more go away heat? Dom or Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, they hate Charlotte's guts. I won't go through the whole promo because it was terrible. Whatever Charlotte had to say, she never got it out.
Yeah, I read it. It was pretty.
It was bad, and the crowd would not let her speak. It threw her off so much that she couldn't get her words out, and she basically at the end she said, I mean, there was a great line. There was a lot of great. Tiffany had some great lines. Of course, it seemed like Tiffany was forgetting her lines at times too. She would walk away and then start talking in and walk away again and talk. But she said, what is this? After WrestleMania, you're going to be alone, just like you're alone in your normal life.
Yeah,
your regular life.
0-3 with marriages.
Yeah, what are you 0-3 right now? And then she called her a Nepo baby, which seems to be like the new thing to call everybody a Nepo baby. So she said Nepo Queen. Of course, the crowd is just shitting all over Charlotte. Like it is. Vince McMahon would have been proud how much this crowd was shitting all over Charlotte. It was unbelievable. So she basically said, you know what, whatever, fuck these people. I know she wanted to be like, you, Chicago, hey, we're friends, boo, okay, fuck you. That's what I know she wanted to go. Fuck you, fuck this shitty city, fuck your crime rate, fuck that, the fucking L subway, fuck all you. I know that's what she wanted to do. Anyway, windy motherfuckers.
And there were like, from what I have read after watching this, there were a lot of live rounds thrown in that between the two of them, to the point where WWE for the YouTube release edited them out.
Yeah.
Like she threw Charlotte threw out why is Kaiser in my DMs?
No,
That
it was still on the YouTube when I saw it this morning because I went back.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, what
Why
I
is
read
Kaiser
was
my DMs?
yeah. They
Uh,
they from what I read, they were editing that stuff out because of how like, and there's heat, backstage heat for both Charlotte and Tiffany because of this, to the point like Charlotte takes the majority of it, but Tiffany still got some heat on it as well. So
yeah. I
yeah.
don't think Charlotte really said enough to get any heat with anybody because they would not let her talk. She had some stuff she wanted to say. She tried to stay baby the whole time and smile, but man, it was not working. They hate her guts. So we had talked about
Are
this.
you sure she was trying to smile, or was her face not allowing it?
It could have been. I don't know. It was bad. Now we talked about this in the beginning. We're like, okay, well, this is a good push to put Tiffany over for keeping her strong for this title, and then we've kind of swayed like, well, me, not me. You guys think the Charlotte's winning this title regardless. Then I kind of swayed and was like, man, it really looks like they're gonna take this title off of Tiffany and put it back on Charlotte. I don't know. I don't
I hope they don't.
Well, I mean, she has got hatred, like serious hatred. So it's possible that I mean, because of what they get back from the crowd, that they put this title on Charlotte and just make everyone hate her guts even more that she beat Tiffany. But wow, I mean, I felt bad for Charlotte. She really wanted to get her words out in Chicago. Chicago's a rough crowd anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's always cold, so they're always angry. I get it. Yeah. Anyways, so that mess was over. Nick Aldis made an announcement. Ladies and wait, a minute, team golf. Oh yeah. So at WrestleMania, over the next 2 weeks, they're gonna have a tag team gauntlet match to see who would be the number one contenders for Liv and Raquel, for the tag titles at WrestleMania. I mean, are they gonna? I mean, this almost says that they're gonna take these titles off of Liv and Raquel, right?
Who
No,
knows? Who are they even
I
going to put
don't.
up against them?
Yeah, like who? Like, there's really no other strong female tag team right now. Like, they are it. They are the.
Well, they have
Um,
two. They have two at NXT that came up and then were back down to NXT again.
Yeah.
well, that's true.
The whole Jade and Naomi story has kind of taken away the whole women's tag division because it was just limited to them two and Bianca, and then Liv and Raquel with the whole
Right.
accusation thing. So, like, what happened to well, we know Sonya got canned, but the other two, Shayna and Zoe Stark, have we
Oh,
even seen them?
they'll be the first ones bounced in the first round of this.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what other tag teams do they really got right now? Carter and Chance.
Jakara Jackson and what's the other girl's name from NXT?
Lash Legend.
Lash Legend. They're really good.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
but
they're really good. So, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a short tournament. Maybe it'll be a round robin. Triple elimination over the next 2 weeks. No, maybe they'll do it like Tony Khan's soccer scoring system.
Jesus Christ, please don't. Maybe they can acquire Hurley Cameron and the puppet.
Ooh, that puppet. I can't wait to watch that puppet.
Oh gosh.
So,
Watch it do what?
that's none of your business. We get a Motor City Machine Guns and DIY number one contenders match. I mean, this match is the same match every time. The Motor City Machine Guns have already worn me out already. This tag division is another tag division that just totally needs help.
Yeah.
The referee catches Ciampa using the middle rope for leverage on a pin. Saban sidesteps Ciampa into the exposed steel steel corner. Saban rolls Ciampa up to pick up the victory after the Machine Guns had a standoff for the Profits at ringside. So we're gonna get a Machine Guns um, Profits tag team title match here coming
But
up.
see, this is where again, like, had Vince been gone sooner, in my view, again, fantasy booking this whole thing out, but if had Vince been gone sooner, FTR, aka the Revival, would not have left WWE. They would be here when the Machine Guns came in, and holy hell, the tag team matches the Machine Guns and Revival slash FTR could have had in this division. Like, I'm sorry, I'm tired of Ciampa and Gargano. I'm tired
They're a
of.
good tag team.
They're a good tag team, but they're just like Ciampa's better on his own, in my view. Like, he's really, in my view, he's being held back by Gargano. Like,
Okay, he's better on his own, but he's enhancement talent on his own. Like him and Gargano both aren't would never ever be in the mix for anything. Speed title.
Ciampa once was, like he could have been something if they used him right.
Yeah, you know why he could have been something? Because he was with the Miz.
No, nobody with the Miz ever gets over.
What was their tag team called? Mappa, Miz and Ciampa, Mappa.
I don't even remember.
Chiz. Ciampa is. I don't know.
Yeah. But no, in my view, like, I really like, and see, here's the thing, like, right now, even if FTR comes back to the WWF at some point, which I don't think they ever will, but if they even come back, like, they're going to take at least a year of rehabilitation, 6 months to a year, to get them back in that main event picture. Because I don't care about FTR right now. I don't think they're worth anything as a tag team. So, but I agree with you. The WWF tag team division, men's and women's, needs a lot of help and a lot of work. So,
yeah. We got fourth match tonight. We got Naomi versus B-Fab. Of course, we're continuing that. Why do you giggle? I'm gonna tell you, and they actually mentioned on SmackDown. I agree. B-Fab is not bad. She's really not bad. I think she is a little less polished Jade.
Yeah, she just needs a gimmick change. Like, I'm sorry, the B-Fab thing.
She's B-Fab.
I just
you wish you could B-Fab.
Honestly, no, I don't. Like, I again, not a bad worker overall, not a bad wrestler, but in my view, still, it's the gimmick that every time I hear the name B-Fab, I smile and laugh because it's just like it's too freaking cheesy.
Do you think of Jamie Kennedy off of Malibu's Most Wanted?
Yeah, there you go.
I do too. When he drops, we won't. But anyway, he drops the mic, and then we have a Booker T moment.
Yeah.
All right, Naomi gets Fab tied up in the trio woe. Naomi viciously stomps on B-Fab's face. Naomi connects with a modified code breaker and picks up the victory after the match. Naomi calls out Jade. Jade nails Naomi from behind with the pump kick and goes for the jaded security guards. Get in the way. Well, this was god awful. All hell breaks loose, sort of. Nick Aldis appears at the stage and says he's had enough of this shit. I've had enough. Nick Aldis is going to have enough by the end of the night, but he had enough for this. And he said, that's it. Naomi, Jade, you guys are going to WrestleMania. That's right. They're going to be at WrestleMania. Of course, Jade, instead of, you could tell, of course, Naomi's been to WrestleMania before. She was just kind of like doing her heel thing where she was like, yeah. Jade was like, super excited to be getting that WrestleMania payday.
They were on there last year, remember?
Jade wasn't.
Yeah, it was her, Bianca, and Naomi beat Damage Control.
Were they?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was last year.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was last year.
Why do you remember that? Weren't you getting a beer?
I'm trying to think. Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure all of Damage Control was still healthy at that point, or somebody wasn't.
Okay.
And they, yeah, hold on.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, you look it up here real quick. All right. So we get a Damian Priest promo basically firing back at Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is wearing an eye patch now, by the way.
Real
He's
glass.
Yeah.
real glass. That's why you don't
Yeah.
do real glass, Tony.
Yeah.
Pay attention tonight when we're watching Dynasty, when you
Oh
whip out the real
God.
glass again. So, and there will be a callback to that for some. There will be, has to be. So, anyway, basically, Damien is saying that the Clash of Castles should have been about us, but the weird obsession you couldn't get rid of it followed you. I did my job, remain the heavyweight champion. You screwed yourself, but I'm the villain, right? So he cost
Yeah,
me.
it was a match one night. It was Damage Control against Bianca, Jade,
Oh,
and Naomi.
okay. So are we getting a Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest at WrestleMania?
Yep.
I think so. And again,
Oh,
I'm
it
not.
does say face to face, eye to eye, because I want you to stop playing the victim and become my victim at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was eye to eye because he only had one.
So another promo, more talky. And this one started out shitty, but then ended up good. We had Kevin Owens versus Kevin Owens promo in the ring. Alda says, "Well, folks, it's the rough part of my job. It's not always fun in this industry. It's fine. There's a fine line between coming back next week, like everything is fine, and finding out that you may never be able to step foot in this ring again. It's cliche, but for some reason, this is why we always say, don't try this at home." He announces Kevin Owens out. Kevin Owens comes out and says, "I've been doing this for 25 years. And I think I can say confidently that for those 25 years, I've given everything. I've had everything. I've stepped foot into this ring. And those 25 years, because of the industry, I've gotten live, credible things and experienced things I'll never forget. I've had to take chances to take care of my family in a way that I could only dream. Uh, but there's a price to pay for this amazing opportunity. He has a neck injury that he is going to have surgery on. He basically says he will not be at WrestleMania. Randy Orton's music hits. Randy Orton comes out. They have like a little stare down. Mark Henry Jr. jumps off the
Yeah.
apron, heads to the back. Of course, we have to deliver some bad news to Randy. He says, "Well, Randy, I hate to tell you," Nick Aldis says, "I hate to tell you, but you don't have an opponent for WrestleMania, so you will not be at WrestleMania this year." Everybody's sad. Randy hears the voices
RKO.
and RKO's his ass into the mat. Great RKO. Way to take an RKO, Nick Aldis. I fucking love it.
Okay.
Insert Aleister Black.
Hold on. First off, do we believe that KO is really injured?
See that's where
Work.
this is where the quirk of life gets. I don't think so. But again, like we talked about earlier, like the leagues aren't coming out, WWE closing ranks, they're putting out false information. Honestly, at this point, like I mean, the storyline is he's had this for 4 months and he's been working through it. Seems legit in some ways because again, that's what this industry is. You work through injuries, you kind of keep going until you can't go anymore. So I'm just like I am going to what I'm kind of mentally in my head what I'm calling on this is that the week before WrestleMania, Kevin Owens comes back out, says fuck the back injury, like he'll come out sneak attack Orton, and say fuck the back injury. I want one more before I have to go on the shelf, and it's Kevin versus Orton at Mania is what I think they're gonna wait to literally the like the week before, or even like
It
the
would have
day
to be.
before.
It
That'll
would
be
have
next
to be.
week.
It would have to be an unsanctioned match then, because if he's got an unclearable neck injury, they were not going to let him wrestle.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kevin likes those, so why not?
I mean, he did go through a ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did put you through a ladder there not too long ago. So.
Yeah.
The other funny thing about that, the RKO to Aldis, there's a funny clip going around from 2023. Aldis gets RKO'd and fines Orton for it, and
Oh yeah, I saw this.
pays
Fines
the
at 50,
yeah,
and
there's a
Orton gives him
$50,000
double.
fine. Yeah, he pays double. He pays 100,000, and Aldis is like, "What's this for?" He's like, "For the next time." So, like, the caption on the video is, "Orton invested well on this." Like,
So we'll see here. We'll see how this ends up. All right, we're moving on. We had our Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman last man standing match. We've seen this match a million times with Braun, and they always end up going through a crash pad somewhere along the line. Both got let's get to this. Strowman and Fatu are brawling in the crowd. Strowman with a vertical suplex off the production crate through two tables. Both guys avoiding the referee's 10 count. They did a really good job of hiding the crash pad underneath, so I'll give them that. Both guys avoiding the referee's 10 count. Both guys are struggling to stay on their feet. Fatu nails Strowman with a running hip attack, which it looked like he was going to hit him with a spear, and then he changed his mind and threw the hip attack. I don't know, because it looked the way Strowman was so far away from the table. Didn't look like it was going to land right. So
Fatu's like the fucking Tasmanian devil.
he is. He really is. Man, he's awesome.
He is.
Fatu nails Strowman with a running hip attack through a table in the corner. Fatu gets up at the count of 9 to pick up the victory. And honestly, Strowman got up at the count of 10.5. So it keeps Strowman strong. He loses. Of course, we know he loses. As you just sent us something. He loses, but it still keeps it strong because he wasn't down and out, right? So Fatu ends up winning that match. We get a video recap of John Cena, Cody Rhodes segment from last week. We get a Katana chance of King Carter, Bailey, and Valkyria, Pure Fusion Collective, Michin and B-Fab, The Secret, Hervis, Scurvy.
It sounds like a disease.
It really does. Cervix, the secret cervix. Natalia, Maxine Dupree will be participating in the number 1 contenders match for the Gauntlet. Let me go back through that. Chance and Carter, Bailey, Valkyria, Pure Fusion Collective, Michin, and B-Fab. The Secret, Hervis. I actually think they should put the S Boys in here too. That'd be great. Natalia and Maxine Dupree.
R-Truth and Tozawa.
I'm gonna love that. So anyway, also next week on SmackDown, Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest will go face to face. Rey Fenix will collide with Humberto, and Roman Reigns has finally arrived at the All-State Arena. He's pissed. Went right into the next thing. So anyway, Raymond shows up at the arena. Of course, Hyman is out there waiting for him. Roman walks right by him, doesn't acknowledge him. Walks right on by him, heads to the ring.
Shortest Roman Reigns entrance ever.
It was pretty good. It was pretty, just walk right on by. Roman gets to the ring and says, "Chicago!
Acknowledge me."
And they did. Paul Heyman says, "Yes, my he says, wise man. He says, yes, my tribal chief. Is he here?" Heyman says, "Yes, my tribal chief." Roman says, "Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about, wise man," because the crowd is chanting, CM Punk. CM Punk. Heyman says, "Yes, my tribal chief." Roman says, "Is he still talking about the favor?"
Yes, my tribal chief.
Yes, my tribal chief.
Such a good toady. He just the bowing, the acknowledging. Oh my god, I love him.
Roman says, "Oh, Chicago. I don't know how you're dealing with this guy, huh? Wise man? Yes, my tribal chief. Roman says, should I share the secret to Chicago? Heyman says, yes, my tribal chief. Roman says, CM Punk wouldn't be back here if it wasn't for me. Of course, the crowd hates that. CM Punk wouldn't be here in the main event of WrestleMania if it wasn't for me. And I get it. You good people from the same city. You like him. He's from the same city as you. You're good people. You mean well, but you're not smart. CM Punk has been around forever. He's wrestled everyone around the sun, legends, Hall of Famers, champions. But he's never been in the main event of WrestleMania. No, he hadn't. Not until he was introduced to the tribal chief. That's right. You hear them chanting the tribal chief in your city. And he goes, ha 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 ha. It was a pretty funny laugh. He laughs like the Rock. Laughs like the Rock. Ha, ha, ha. I'm right here in the ring. I'm saying, bring CM Punk out here so we can quit wasting our time. Come on out here. Let me hear the favor. Come on out here. Indulge your tribal chief. Of course, CM Punk's music doesn't hit.
Seth Rollins.
It's Seth Rollins.
Seth Franklin Rollins.
Yeah, Seth Franklin Rollins. Of course, the crowd is going crazy. Seth says, I am a visionary. I am a revolutionary. I am Seth freaking Rollins. I wouldn't miss this one for the world. See, I don't know Roman. I don't know Roman. What a little I don't know Roman what that favor is. But the reality, I got a feeling it's gonna knock your socks off. Like Seth is the greatest. Seth is the greatest. And he basically tells, and I'm gonna sum this up here. He basically tells Roman, he says, listen, I tried to tell you about this guy. He's no good. He's a snake in the grass, and you let him in. You didn't have to let him be your partner in Hell in a Cell.
War
Games.
Games.
Or War Games. You didn't have to do that. You could have finished him. We could have finished him at Hell in a Cell. We didn't. But you let him in. And now we're in. So now we got a problem. So, of course, CM Punk, music hits, makes his way down to the ring. He says, CM Punk, the favor. What's the favor? This is about friendship. This is about legacy. This is about promise.
It's about loyalty. He looks over at Rollins. It's about loyalty. I love that part.
This is about promises made and promises kept. This is about loyalty. Then he looks. This goes back to 4400 Shepherdsville Road in Louisville, Kentucky. When day one I showed up and they told you that I didn't belong. They told you to fire me. And you said no. Hell, you're a wise man. He looks at Roman. It's just that. He's wise beyond his years. Paul, you projected this years ago on television, on Monday Night Raw. And if everybody else has forgotten about it, they certainly don't mean I have. And hell, even before that, if I could throw back to a day when you left the company on the Big Show's bus, you said the show, you said you and me, a show, RVD, standing there talking amongst ourselves. And I mistakenly made it about me. I said, Paul, you're going to fire me. Paul said, without you, I'm nothing. Paul, don't leave. And you said, no, you'll be fine. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made it about me. Do you remember this, Paul? I said, what can I do for you in this moment? You said, Punk, you will be the main event of WrestleMania. Force them. You will be when you become the main event of WrestleMania. I will be in your corner, and you will force them to deal with us. Well, they aren't here anymore, and he gets right up in Roman's face, and we don't know who do you think they're talking about? They aren't here anymore. Huh. So I'm going to force you, Tribal Chief. I'm going to force you out of your comfort zone. I'm going to force you to deal with us because at WrestleMania, in the main event, in my corner, your wise man, my best friend, Paul Heyman, will be in my corner. Roman says, that's the favor? You understand? He loves me, right? He needs me. I saved him. Even if I let him, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Wise man. Paul Heyman says, "Yes, my tribal chief." Of course, Paul is
Love it.
Paul
Love
is
it.
completely going 0 to 60 here. Now his face is red. His makeup's running. Herman says, "Let this desperate fool let this desperate fool down. Easy, will you? Oh, are you crying?
That was a good part. Are you crying?
You better dry them up and tell him no. I took you in. I made you relevant. Tell him no. I'm going to give you more opportunity. Tell him no." Heyman goes, "No, my tribal chief, I can't do that." Best part of the segment. Seth Rollins is in the
It's
corner, down on
dying.
his knees, laughing
Love it.
and like he is dying. There's 3 stories going on here.
Yep.
Seth was right. Seth is dying. He's right. Roman is beside himself. He can't figure out what the fuck is going on. Why is the wise man in this guy's corner? And Punk gets everything he wants. He's got WrestleMania. He's got his moment. He's going to be in the main event, and he's got the wise man in his corner. There's 3 different stories here going on, and I fucking love it.
Love it. And I'm saying, and I've been saying since they announced it, that this is probably going to be the best part of Mania is this story,
I think so.
this match. And you know what would be hilarious is if the swerve is Heyman turns on Punk and goes with Seth, and Seth wins this.
Holy shit.
Ooh.
Holy shit. I love it. I love it.
So the architect gets the wise man. That would be awesome. Like I would go for that.
A hysterical swerve.
I would love that. I would love that. Swerve, bro. So of course,
he's on the other company.
We get of course, Roman not grabs, but he kind of ruffles Heyman's shirt a little bit, and then Punk attacks him from behind, hits him with the GTS, sorry.
I know you
That's
can't
a car.
I can't spell.
GTO's a car.
Hits him with a GT. Well, it looked like he hit him with a car. So hits him with a hits him with a GTS.
He's doing the Peter Griffin
Yeah.
laid out.
Roman's out. He looks at Seth. Seth is like, "Nope, not today, buddy." So Seth gets out of there, and we get Punk standing tall in the ring over top of Roman. Wow. What a great ending of the Smackdown, by the way. I had to go back to YouTube and watch it because a DVR cut off. I forgot to set it for 10 more minutes after. So, anyway, good Smackdown. It's good. It's getting there. It's getting there, boys. So,
and see, the one thing I will say, and again, Cornette talks about this all the time. Like, it's funny how the wrestling matches get in the way of the storytelling because, we're watching a wrestling show where the wrestling matches really don't matter because it's all about the talking. It's about Punk coming out in the beginning, Heyman coming out in the beginning, and then it's about, all the 4 guys in the end and tying the 2 segments together to make a story that we all want to see what the heck is going to happen. We're all like, how is this triple threat going to go? And honestly, this is the first time I've ever been excited for a triple threat match.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So anyway, we're going to talk about our beliefs and what we think is going to happen in this on the big ass WrestleMania show in 2 weeks. So, going to be good. So that was it for SmackDown. Again, thank you for joining us. We got the Crackdown probably back next week, next Sunday. Hopefully Rob will be back for that. We miss Rob. He's got some stuff going on, so he'll be back soon enough. Make sure you guys go like and subscribe. Hit that button, hit that thumbs up. And honestly, we're going to say this right now. Today, the predictions challenge starts back over today with Dynasty. Dynasty, which we're going to do a Dynasty show here in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We're going to do that, our predictions for that. So make sure you get into the Patreon. It's $5 a month. You go to collection, you go to our Patreon page, you go to collections, you add it, it's $5, and then you're in. You get the link, you can join in. When we get to 100 people, here's what we're doing. When we get to 100 people, we're going to give away a WWE title belt. We're going to give away a title belt, but we got to get to 100 people. We're on our way there. We're only 90 away. No big deal. We're
All
only 90 away, so we'll get there. But anyway, thank you for joining us, Scotty, Ricky. I will talk to you guys again, and we'll see you guys next time.
On the hard way.
Dwarf Dawn Tucker.
Got me.